High temp pulled pork, version 3. We've done this twice before. This time was a fail. I don't know what happened. We had great success with version 1, great success with version 2. This is a little clip here of the first one we did. I cooked this guy this time the same way. 350 degrees, 4 hours, trying to get that internal temp up to 165. And here I am pulling that first version. You can see the beautiful bark. It's nice and tender. Again, like I said, I didn't do anything different, but I just wanted to give this little preamble here to the video that's about to follow, because I don't show all these details in this one. There's no point. That's version 1 again. Great sauces on those sandwiches. That's the slap sauce and Cosmos Q competition. And then I've got a little clip of version 2, which I think should be coming up next. Again, same way. 350 degrees, 4 hours to get the internal temp to 165. We wrapped them. Actually, one of these we wrapped, one we didn't. I think this one I did not wrap. This is version 2. Nope, I did not wrap it. This is... Now that's the pork butt after 4 hours, and you can see what we do with these. We make little 8-ounce pouches and we vacuum seal them, stick them in the freezer. Again, this version 2 came out great. Didn't do a thing different this time, but it failed. Peg leg porker dry rub and an 8-pound pork butt. I'm going to do this guy at high temp. Fast and high. This is the second or third time I've tried this. I did another video cooking the pork butt, about 8 pounds at high temp, 350 degrees. And the thing gets done in total time about 5.5 hours. 4 hours in the smoke, an hour and a half in foil, and a half-hour resting. So anyway, check out that video I did a while back. I'm not going to go into detail on this one. I want everybody to see the peg leg porker dry rub that I'm going to be using. Let me show you what it looks like. Put some on here on the dish and get a shot of this. It's a very fine rub, and you see those little balls in there. It's just listed as spices, and those little balls are also in one of my other favorite rubs, the Rendezvous rub from the famous Rendezvous restaurant. So I just knew I would like this peg leg porker too, and this is what I'm going to go with today. No mustard, no binder, just this has worked for me in the past, and let's get some of this on here, see what it looks like. Yeah, that's pretty. Oh, lots of little pieces of spices. Okay, so let me get this guy rubbed up and I'll be back. Okay, I got the butt rubbed a nicely, pretty good coating. I do use a heavy hand, but this is not an overpowering rub. This peg leg porker dry rub. The ingredients are spices, paprika, salt, chili powder, garlic, and onion. That's it. Real simple. Not a lot of sweet stuff in there, so I don't have to worry about anything burning. And speaking of burning, there's a really nice fat cap on this butt, and I left it alone. I didn't mess with it. It's going to go on the bottom. It'll give us some protection, because since I'm cooking at a high temp, 350 degrees, I'm going to need that fat cap under there to kind of protect the roast. All right, and I'm going to let it sit here and get happy while I go fire up the smoker. I'm using my Rectech Mini pellet grill today, and I'm going to get that thing up. It's going to take about 20 minutes to get to 350, and I'll come back with you. Okay, we're out at the smoker. I just put the pork butt in, and I got my smoker tube going. Get some smoke going, get a nice smoke ring on that thing. Using apple wood pellets today is what I happen to have in the grill. So it's 12 noon exactly, and in a total of 5.5 hours I should have a high temp pulled pork butt done. Now this thing climbed way up on me. It went up to, according to smoke, it went up to 400 some degrees. And I think it's because I had the door open, and then the pellet grill is overcompensating. I got the pellet grill set at 360. Now you can't see that, but that built-in thermometer doesn't ever seem to be really accurate. I trust the smoke from ThermoWorks more than the grill. And so my peg leg porker rub pork butt is underway at high temp, 350 degrees. We'll check back in later. All right, here's our finished product. This thing got done in 4 hours of cooking, and it had another hour and a half resting. We at 3.5 hours in, we hit the 160 degree mark inside, so I've wrapped it. And another half hour, we hit 190. I left it on another 15 minutes or so. But peg leg porker dry rub on the butt. Beautiful crust here. I didn't spritz it. I keep it real simple. Okay. Let's first test. Let's see if this bone comes out nice. Pretty good. Yeah. Yep. Sliding right out, nice and clean. Now, having said how fast this thing cooked, it's like half the time. It remains to be seen how it's going to taste. So I'm going to grab a little piece right now with some bark on it. Ooh, that's a little tough. Get inside, but it does have a little chew. Yeah. I don't know what I could have done different.
Probably nothing.
I mean, at 350, you know, at 350 the whole cook, it was really cranking. But let's see how it breaks up. Yeah, that is tough. That is not coming apart easily. So, crock pot.
To finish it?
I think so.
Or slow oven?
Need some more time cooking.
Okay.
Not quite there. All right, so that's, you know, you win some, you lose some. The rub is nice. It's savory and it's not overpowering. It's a little strong, but not in any direction of salty or sweet or spicy. It's just...
Yeah, I was happy it wasn't too salty. Yeah, it's good. It's got a nice flavor to it.
Huh. So, what do you think?
I think we can throw it in the crock pot. It'll fit just right.
I think we're going to have to, because this just
not pulling.
That is not falling apart. Yep. So that's all right. So so this particular high temp pulled pork cook just didn't cut it. That's okay. I'm still going to post the video so you can learn from my mistake. So we're going to throw this guy in a crock pot, and if something magical happens to it, I'll add to the video. Okay, we're going to the triage unit here to try and save this pork. We've got our crock pot bowl. I put the whole roast in here, and we're going to stick this on low overnight and just let it simmer and get all happy. Because when I went to pull it apart, it was you saw it was tough to pull. It just wasn't done. So, you know, experiment, didn't work. That's okay. The roast was very thin. It wasn't tall, and I was afraid. Well, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I thought maybe it would actually cook better, being a thin, not as tall, you know, thin. So we're going to do the. We're going to try and rescue it with the crock pot, and we'll see what comes out on the other side of that process. Okay, it's the next morning. We had the pork in the slow cooker overnight on the low setting for about 9 hours. It didn't work. I mean, it's allowing me to break the pork up nice, but the bite and the chew is very tough. It's just not usable. It's a fail. But what did I learn from this? And I'm telling you, I did this cook exactly like I did the other one. That worked great. As a matter of fact, that last one I did, we even vacuum sealed little pouches of extra pork and put them in the freezer and ate on them for a couple of months. So I don't know. Maybe who knows? I do know. Here's what I learned. Definitely trim some of the fat cap off, because that fat cap dripped down on the drip pan in the smoker, and then kind of burned. Even though it was draining really well, I had to empty the grease bucket outside the smoker a couple of times. It was draining well. It's just there was some residue fat on the grease pan that just burnt and added a kind of a burnt flavor to it. The bark was nice, but I should have spritzed it. The one bright side of this cook is the peg leg pork or dry rub. I mean, that's a winner. I like that, and I can't wait to try that on some ribs, and maybe on the pulled pork again. So there you go. I hope you learned a little bit from my mistakes. And I'm telling you, watch the other video because it came out perfect, and I show you step by step what I did in a little more detail than this one. But pulled pork fail. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe and hit that little bell, and we'll see you later.